Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way show. So happy to have you with me this evening. A little bit past 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast. I normally today. I'm a little late today, but for a very specific reason. I was busy. Is that a good reason? I don't know, but it's true. I was crazy busy today with meetings and such, trying to get some stuff done. And it just sucked up like all of my time, and I couldn't get here as fast as I wanted to. So I apologize for that. But I did make it, and I changed my mind. I was going to do a show on something else that some of you were asking me about, but I changed my mind on that because I recognize that I'm actually not going to be doing a show for a while. I won't be out. I'm heading off, taking a trip with my daughter to meet some people this weekend, a little bit further south than New York City, heading down there. And I'll be gone for a couple of days. Then I'll be doing a show on Monday night, and then I won't be doing a show during the Christmas couple days, Christmas Eve and Christmas days. I thought, you know what? Let me do an AMA. Let me do an AMA because I know we've had a lot of interesting shows, and I know some people have some specific questions they want to talk about, ideas they want to bring up, stuff like that. So I want to make sure I gave you guys an opportunity to have the chat, talk about things that you might want to chat about, either amongst us or with me, whatever might make sense. So that's why I'm doing more of an AMA. But I did want to start with something, which I think is very interesting. What do I mean by that? The idea, how powerful is Elon Musk, right? And I know I was just talking to a guy. He's a local guy here in Queens. He's an entrepreneur. He loves Elon Musk. He's like, I love watching that guy. He's so smart. He's so awesome. He loves him. And he doesn't care if he's in charge of stuff. He's like, okay, basically he's basically an idea that says his idea is basically, look, if I gotta have a king, let it be Elon. That's kind of how he actually feels. He thinks they all run stuff. I'd rather have Elon. Now, I'm not saying other people think that way, but I'm sure some do. He does. And he has some power. There are people who are saying, look, this is a good thing. They're saying, I'm not sure I'm with them. I'm saying what people are saying. That this is a good thing because this stops Trump from being the evil bad guy, right? He's the evil bad guy. Well, now at least Elon can show up and stop him from being the evil bad guy that he's going to be. I'm not sure I buy that one, but I've heard that one too. But there's one more piece that I think is kind of interesting. Is at least it's out in the open. And this is something people may or may not like. I actually like the idea that at least it's out in the open. Like, the wealthy have been running our country for a very long time. Give me transparency at least. Like, let me know. Okay, Elon Musk is running the show. At least I know it now. Like, better. I mean, less worse. Maybe I shouldn't say better. Maybe I should say less worse. Less worse. Now it's not some shadowy guy that I don't know. It's okay. That's the guy who runs everything. All right, I got it. At least I know who the guy is. Something. I mean, I don't know. And then maybe we can shame him into something. I don't know. All I'm saying is maybe this isn't as bad as we think if it's actually open this time. I'm not sure. But the part that is bad, again, we already know, if you look at the data, our representatives don't do what we say. They don't care about what we think. They don't. Clearly don't. However, they do care what billionaires care about. Of course, that's been obvious. You see it in the bills that get passed and all those things. But when you have the actual billionaire actually saying stuff up front, maybe they can actually make some change. If you have a benevolent king, can you make some change? I don't know. Like, I'm a libertarian. I don't like any of this stuff. I'm putting it out there because this is what we're talking about now. We're actually seeing some of the sausage being made, which I am not unhappy about. That part I love. I love us seeing this open like this. That part I 100% love, regardless of the outcome. I hope it's a better outcome, obviously. But this is a good part that we're just seeing it. But something else. Elon has done something in this case that I'm happy about. He has talked about the idea of the massive size of bills. I think his last one was what, 1,600 pages, something like that. Am I right with that number? I think it was 1,600 pages. And they have to vote on it like tomorrow or whatever the time frame they give them. So you physically cannot read the bills. Physically, you cannot. So lobbyists put together a bill, put it in front of people and say, you sign it. And they go, okay, that's what happens. Now, many of you who have been paying attention have known this for a long time, right? But now it's screaming now, and it hasn't been before. So that part I like. I'm glad that's true. Now it's about debt ceiling. And I already got a question from someone saying, can you explain a debt ceiling? Here's what's weird about America, how American government works. And this is a stupid idea, but it's true. The American government says, okay, here's what we've agreed to pay, X gazillion dollars. Got it. Okay, so now we have this bill that we owe. Okay, we have to pay for it. Oh, we don't have enough money. We don't? No, we don't. Oh, let's print some more. Let's go into debt. Okay, let's go to debt. Wait, the debt ceiling. In an attempt to stop us from doing that, I'm not joking, people thought, we'll make a debt ceiling. You can't go past this debt ceiling, so you'll have to spend within your means. I mean, theoretically, that makes sense. In reality, it's not even close to true. All they do is go, oh, let's raise debt ceiling. See, the debt ceiling is supposed to stop the government from spending so much money. That's why some people go, oh, great, that's a good idea. Let's have a debt ceiling. In theory, that's a wonderful idea. In practice, the government just spends anyway and goes, I'm just spending. Yeah, but we can't. I'm spending. Okay, but okay, we can't vote for this thing to spend the money because we voted for a debt ceiling. And everyone in Congress goes, yes, that's correct. We voted for a debt ceiling. Okay. And we're going to spend more money, but you can't. But we are. Now we're screwed because we have two choices. Number one, we raise debt ceiling, which we do every single time. That's option one. Option two, we don't raise the debt ceiling, and now we go into default. We can't pay our bills. That's why the government shuts down, because we don't have enough money to pay our bills. There we go. Pink Bus says it perfectly. It's an imaginary line. Correct. Yes, it is. It's like me. I decide the value and the credit limit on my credit card. I decide. My credit limit is $1,000. Oh, I'm going to spend $2,000. My credit limit is not $2,000. Oh, okay. I'm going to spend $3,000. Oh, damn it. My credit limit now is $2,000. Why? Because I voted on it. That's literally what debt ceiling is. They just vote on how much credit card debt they can have. That's what it actually is. Now, the question comes, and Pete brings it up. Thank you, Pete. Should the Congress abolish debt ceiling? Of course. It has no value. To pick up Bell's point, it's an imaginary line. Who cares? Stop spending. If it doesn't stop you from spending, then why have a debt ceiling? It makes no sense. All it does is, and this is the reason why, this is going to sound crazy, but those of you who are big Trump fans, you may not understand this, but I'm going to give you some background. Trump is actually okay with abolishing the debt ceiling or raising it like to a bazillion or whatever. You might go, wait a minute, Larry. Trump is a Republican. Republicans are all about, the debt and controlling spending. On paper, that is true. Like they talk that, but in reality, that's nowhere near true. It's Democrats tend to be tax and spend. Republicans tend to be debt and spend. But they both have the spend part. Like that part doesn't go away, but the spend part's always there, right? So that's the part they keep going, no matter what. It's always the spend part. So he wants to get rid of it. Now, I understand why. And I understand why some Republicans will be behind him. You might go, wait a minute, Larry, it doesn't make any sense because they're Republicans, not supposed to care. They're supposed to care about the debt and fiscal responsibility. That's what they say. Okay. That's not why he cares. He cares because if they don't fix this debt ceiling problem, he's going to deal with it next year and the year after and the year after. So he wants to abolish it or make it so high he can just deal with doing whatever he wants without having to worry about that pesky thing, Pete, which I know you don't care about. which is a national debt. Yeah, I know Pete doesn't care about that at all. He could care less about the national debt. Everybody else does, but Pete's like, good, let's make it go higher. See, Pete keeps posting the national debt because he loves it so much. And he would like it to go higher. Well, there we go. So that's why the debt ceiling is an issue and why we should handle it. So to be forward with me yapping away, number one, is Elon Musk's idea of being that powerful a bad thing? Generally speaking, yes, we don't want billionaires running our country. However, I'm going to give you some pushback for those who think that, and that is they already run the country. And if they're going to run it, I'd rather it be out in front. I'd rather it be transparent, right? If I'm going to have a king, I'd like to know who my king is, right? I mean, if I'm going to have a king, right? So in that regard, yes. And at least if Elon's actually in favor, and I hope he is, I feel like he is, but I don't know it's true. If he's actually in favor of cutting our debt, okay. I mean, I guess we got a semi-benevolent king if we're going to have one. I guess that's something, I guess. Right? If he is about that, I don't know if he actually is. Now, clearly he's going to do things that are in his favor. But if it happens to also be in our favor, okay, maybe not bad. Maybe, I don't know, we can hope. But the other thing is now people are seeing it. And that's the part I really want, and I hope comes from this. I hope what comes from this is that, because he's going to put it on X and people are seeing it everywhere, is that people, most Americans don't see this. Guys like us who pay attention, we do. But a lot of people don't. That these bills are so huge that no one can read it, and they don't read it. You might go, but that's okay, my congressman wrote it. No. The people who write the bills are, again, literally corporate lobbyists. They write the bills and then give it to them. How do we know that? They often work in think tanks. People ask, what do think tanks do? They write bills like this. That's what they do. That's their job. They write bills like this and hand it to a politician. Here's the bill. Sign it. Okay. Now, why are they mad? Next piece. Why are they mad at Mike Johnson? Why are they mad at O. Johnson? Why are they mad at him, Speaker of the House? Because he put it up. Wait a minute. It's his responsibility? Yes, because the other thing they have in our Congress is, and some of you don't know this, it will drive you crazy. If you elect one of your congresspeople and you go, great, I now have a congressperson who I like. My congressperson now can go up to the Hill and now you talk about legislation that I care about. Get rid of things, fix things, whatever you care about. You voted for this person because you trust them, and now they're up there to take care of stuff. Yay! Not true. They have a rule now, and the rule is nothing gets voted on unless the Speaker of the House says so. Repeat that. Nothing gets voted on unless the Speaker of the House says so. So your congressperson comes up and says, I have a bill to do X, or a bill to remove Y, or a bill to change Z, and they go, no, but I'm a congressperson. You are. So I'd like to, on behalf of my people, I'd like to vote on this. No. What's the process? I decide. What, you decide? Yeah. Is that in the Constitution? No. Is that constitutional? No. Is that fair? No. Do I have any recourse? No. I said no. Take a hike. That's how our system actually works. If you think I'm making that up, do your own homework. Justin Amash is the reason why he left. He's done so much research on this. He'll tell you about it. Just go to Justin Amash's Twitter and put it in. You'll see it. He tells about it all the time. That's how it works. So Johnson is the only one who can get this up there. So Johnson said yes to this monstrosity. That's why they're mad at him. There's the good and bad of being the speaker. You control everything. Again, not constitutional, not fair, not democratic, doesn't matter. Nobody changes it. Why? Because the parties run everything. We don't. That's how that actually happens. So yeah, that's how that actually works. So anyway, I do think that's some interesting piece there. I wanted to bring all that up if I could. And let me grab Let Liberty Lady over on Rumble says, hashtag shut it down. And I hope it gets Speaker Johnson out of there and go 20 rounds of voting in January for gridlock. Look, clearly I get the shut it down concept. I do. I get it completely. I do. But there has to be something on the other end. This goes back to what I was talking about with Malay in Argentina. If people believe that they have to go through some pain and there's something wonderful on the other side, I'm with you. If I believed shutting the government down would actually change things and make things better, I would go through the pain. I'm with you. My worry, Liberty Lady, is they'll shut it down. There'll be pain for a lot of people who need the help, and nothing will change. Why would I say that? The Democrats got their ass kicked this year in every way you can look at it. They got their butt kicked this year. And their leadership changed in exactly, no way whatsoever. Yes, everyone got reelected, everyone back in place, all the leadership still there. They paid no price whatsoever for the leaders, none. The Democratic Party failed the country, failed themselves, failed their constituents, failed their donors. And their punishment was nothing. Nothing. Nobody got fired. Nobody got ruined. Nobody's reputation got destroyed. Nothing. No one got voted out of power. Nothing. Didn't change anything. Nothing. Nope. Still good. All good. And so that's why I get what you're saying, Liberty Lady. But my worry is, do Americans want to go through pain? We will, and we have, if we think there's something on the other end. My worry is, what's on the other end? What's on the other end? Is it just pain for pain's sake? I mean, I'm not that much of a masochist. Or is it sadist? No, masochist, right? Whichever one is when you hurt yourself. Is it masochist? I think it's masochist. So yes, I'm not as much as a masochist as you would think I am. I'm not. Yes. So Shelley goes on to say, Elon has been extremely successful at leveraging future production for the cash to produce it. However, this is the government and a Congress who just spent over $500 billion, so don't trust government. Yes, Shelley. I am with you 100%. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Becky Lee became a member. Thank you so much for becoming a member on YouTube. I appreciate that, guys. Look, membership is critical to keep this channel going so I can spend more time doing this and less time working so I won't be late all the time. Why am I late so often? I know I am late often. I'm trying to do a show at 7 p.m. every day. I try. I do. I don't always do it, but I try. And why? Because I have to work during the day, right? I still have a job. And I still have to, and if some of you notice, I still try to go on when I can to answer questions, I still go on to try to respond to people. And it can be challenging. I can't do as much as I want to. I have so many that I don't respond to because I just don't have time. I'd like to. So the more members we have, the more I can start doing that. Less I have to be working and raising money and stuff like that. It's what more important I do. I do a lot of training, coaching, and raising money is what I do during the day. I do a lot of that. It's meetings after meetings, research after research. It's a lot of work, obviously. Not complaining about the work, just I can't do this as much as I'd like to, right? The work actually often keeps me connected, meeting people and knowing people so that I have more insight here, believe it or not. So the work I do actually has help. So to make that happen. But yes. So guys, I'll ask you, you don't have to join. I hope you do. But what you have to do is click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo, like. Yes, that is the one you must click. Elbow smash it. Hit it with your nose. Hit it with your ear. Hit it with your knee. I don't care. Whatever it needs to do. Hip check it. Who cares? I don't care. Whatever. Make sure you click that button. It does matter. Every single one of those. When it gets the button clicked, then YouTube and everyone else and Facebook goes, oh, this must be good stuff. We should show it to more people. And that's true. They should. Share it if you can, wherever it is. Put it into a Facebook group. Put it onto Twitter. Put it on YouTube, whatever the case may be. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe on YouTube. Please follow me on Facebook and on Twitter. It does matter. Super chats are always welcome. Super chats also great if you can do that. That's wonderful. Please do so if you can. Of course, become a member. $29 per month. Click that join button on YouTube, either Larry Sharpe or on Sharpe Way. Click that button and you can do so if you want to. It is very helpful to do so, as I mentioned. All right, let me grab some more of these if I could. All righty. Dave says, Justin Amash or Thomas Massie for speaker? Yes, yes. Oh my God, yes. I would love Thomas Massie for speaker. But here's the thing to remember, though, here. Speaker of the House does not have to be a member of Congress. That's not a rule. It can be anybody. It could be you, Dave. It can be anybody, right? It can be anybody. So you could. Someone was teasing online today saying, just make Elon Musk the Speaker of the House. He runs everything anyway. Calling him president or King Elon Musk. I think that's funny, actually. That's a good joke. I like that. He would never do a job like that. But in theory, you could pick someone who is not there. So I like the idea of Justin Amash because Justin Amash is no longer in Congress. So he could come in and be speaker. I think it's great. By the way, if you remember, The last time they had that, like 13, I know literally lady teasing saying 20 rounds. They did 13 rounds to get what was the other guy they got? 13 rounds. The guy before Johnson, forgot his name. Anyway, that guy. Before when they got him, Justin Amash was there. He was on the floor. He was like, I'm here, guys. Won't pick me. I'm here. So yes, I'm with you. I think it'll be amazing. So yes. Kim, thank you for the 49. I appreciate it. Every little bit counts so much. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for the support. We keep going. So yes. Let's see. Instant Defense says Tesla is king indeed. I think there's something to be said. There's something to be said. Yes. Pete, of course, the national debt. I took you early on, brother. I knew you'd like this one. 36 trillion, 167 billion, 604 million, $149,955.61. And since he posted it, it's higher. And the debt ceiling will have to go higher to pay for that. Or we don't have to have a debt ceiling. Literally goes McCarthy. Thank you. Yes, we're bringing that. It was McCarthy who did that. Thank you. It was McCarthy who was the person before Johnson. I'd forgotten his name. Thank you for that. I do this on memory, so I'm sometimes wrong here or there. So I appreciate when you guys correct me and show me that, oh, no, what you meant was this, what you meant was that. I do appreciate that. The other days, I was talking about fast freezing. When you told me it's flash freezing, I do appreciate that. So yeah. See, Joel gets it. Joel gets it. Joel says, debt. What debt? Let's just print more money. Thank you. You get it, Joel. See, MMT, modern monetary theory, or also known MMT as magic money tree. Both of those are exactly the same. Yes. So modern monetary theory or magic money tree. Both are true. I'm with you. Joel, just print more. Just print more. How much we need now? A trillion? Print that. How much? Two. Do three. But why are we going to be stingy, Joel? Why are you going to be stingy? Do 3 trillion. Come on now. Do 3. And let's give stimmy checks to everybody too while we're at it. What could go wrong? I mean, we know inflation isn't real. Inflation is only because greedy corporations only, nothing else. So let's just do 4 trillion and give stimmy checks out again and tell people, better. Joe, you and I should run things. We should run things. We'll do 4 trillion, tell people not to work, just buy off Amazon and send them all stimmy checks. About that. I like that. Everyone's happy for like 6 months. Everybody's happy. Love that. Good idea. Okay, we're ready to go. There we go. All right, Vivek says, not raising the debt ceiling would be good if it starts to get responsible spending. My point exactly, Vivek. That was supposed to be the goal, but they don't seem to care. If it's Elon having a lot of power is good because it's a good balance against the establishment and deep state. In theory, that's true. In theory. In practice, the problem is, look, I know a lot of people love Elon. And I am very happy with what he did with Twitter without question. I saw I was horribly shadow banned on Twitter until he took over. And the change was night and day. When I wasn't shadow banned, night and day. I mean, so obvious that when he took over. So I'm very happy with it with Twitter. It made my life a whole lot easier. So I clearly have a personal reason for liking him in that regard. But is he really against the establishment? I mean, is he really? Come on. He's made a lot of money from the government. Ton of cash on government. Did it here in New York, federal. I mean, look, I'm not mad. I hate the game, not the player, right? He saw how the game works, and very few entrepreneurs know how to play government like he does. I mean, some are good, don't get me wrong. A lot of good entrepreneurs know how to play government. He is one of the top at playing government. And now he's almost in it. So maybe, but yeah, maybe not is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So yes. All right. Leela says, that's okay, Larry Shaw. Oh, thank you, Leela. You forgive me for being late. I appreciate it. Yes, I do appreciate that. That's good. All righty. Let me grab some more of these. Pete says, why is Donald Trump protecting Chip Roy instead of Mike Johnson? Oh, I didn't know. Is that true? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Ace is President Musk. Yes, they're teasing him, saying he has so much power. There was a guy, who was it? The former Republican who became a Democrat after Day After 5, right? That guy. I forgot the guy's name. Starts with a K. I remember that kissing, whatever, that guy. He was teasing. He said, oh, it's President Musk and Vice President Trump. And now, of course, people who don't like Trump are jumping on that. So, yes. Will says, Elon Musk bought the entire Republican Party for less than he paid for Twitter. You are not wrong. You're not wrong. Because what Elon Musk did was put the Republicans back into power, and him and RFK Jr. together gave the Republicans a mandate. And I know some people disagree with the idea of a mandate. I call it a mandate. And here's why I call it a mandate. Because Republicans hadn't won the popular vote in 20 years. And all of a sudden, they did. That's why I think it's a mandate. And Trump was, without question, again, whether you might think he's justified or not, whatever your view is, Trump is a convicted felon. That's true. 34 counts. Accurate statement. Has a mugshot. He's been impeached twice. This is true. Again, whether you think that's justified or not, it is a fact. He has been attacked in every way, shape, or form. Banned off Twitter. All the things. He's been all the things, and he won the popular vote. I see that as a mandate. I get if you would disagree. I see the argument behind it. If you remember, we spoke yesterday. The guest that I had on yesterday, Jerry, he thinks it's not a mandate. I know the AC thinks it's not a mandate. I get the argument. I just disagree. I think it's a mandate because of what he'd been through, and he lost the last election. He lost 2020. And now he's back here in 2024. I see it as a mandate. That's how I see it. That's all I'm saying. So Lila also says, I enjoy Elon very much. That guy I told you about, he loves him. He was telling me like there's 5 still talking, and then he does this. I love when he does that. He loves him 100%. Yes. All righty. Gene, how are you? She says, Larry, I missed you last night because I was seeing my granddaughter sing in a holiday show at school. She's already taller than I am. Oh, that's amazing. I love that. I love that. It's great. Shelley says, we can't elect someone for president who concentrates on one thing at a time to a degree beyond what the most dedicated people do. We can't elect someone for president who concentrates on one thing at a time to a degree beyond what the most dedicated people do. I see where you're going. I think it depends upon how well of a team they have. What do I mean by that? People often ask me things like, how can Elon, Larry, you're an executive trainer, you're an executive coach, how can Elon run all these companies, blah, blah. I said, because he's not actually running these companies, right? He has other people who do most of the actual day-to-day work. He is focusing on very big picture and the biggest, most important deals. Everything else, someone else is doing, and he gets some form of report. How the best executives work in the perfect world. This is perfect world, and every executive who's successful tries to get as close to this as possible. In the perfect world, again, this is the fantasy we're all shooting for as a great executive. You get some type of report structured to you on a weekly or daily basis, depending upon how many transactions your business does. If you're like a retail store where you're doing thousands of transactions every day, it's probably daily. If you're maybe a large organization that does, less transactions, but bigger transactions, could be weekly. In theory, it could be monthly in theory, but it depends on how many transactions you do, how many customers you're working with, that kind of thing. The report comes in at a given time. In this case, weekly, I'm making that weekly. It comes in, you look it over, and there's only key indicators, right? People call these often KPIs. KPIs are generally speaking, they're garbage. Key performing indicators, what KPI is. Most of them are absolute garbage. The savviest executives know that good KPIs are only valuable if the number changes, you will take action. And that's very rare for KPIs. KPIs are often done just to make people have busy work, for marketing people act like they're doing something, for consultants like they're valuable. KPIs, generally speaking, are garbage. But there are some that, this is the question I ask every executive. If that number changes, will you do anything? Well, probably not. Why is it there? What do you mean? Why is the number there? Well, they gave us KPI. I don't give a shit what they gave you. If that number changes, will you act? Well, probably not. That's probably for the CFO. Then why do you have the KPI then? So savvy executives know you have a certain list, whatever that is, whether it's 5 or 50 of KPIs, of indicators. Do they change? They're not changing. I'm done. Literally, I'm done. Move on to other things. One of them changed, two of them changed. Okay, focus on those two things that changed. Why did they change? Is that good or is that bad? Is that an indicator of something else? Blah, blah, blah. All those things, right? The best executives have those types of systems already in play, right? It's one of the things that I do when I help people to make that work better is I push down key indicators, right? What matters? Get it down as few as possible. And you work on those. That's how it works. Now, in theory, if it's done well, once that number changes, there's already a meeting set to fix, adjust, shift, look, talk about why that number changes. So it depends on how good the systems are. Most people who are very successful and have multiple businesses have something like that in some way, shape, or form. Hope that was clear. So the AC says, we already have a government for the rich. Yes. Want to have a government of the rich. Oh, wait, we have that too. My point is, AC, is you're right on both counts. Let's be transparent about it. Let's be transparent. So we can either just go, you know what? This is what it is. I accept. I have to pick my billionaire king or queen, probably king, but there's a couple queens, but probably king. I got to pick my billionaire king. All right. Which one do I get? I get that billionaire king. Okay. That's the one I got. And I know what he wants and how he acts. Okay. Now, can I incentivize my billionaire king to do things that will help me too? At least I go there. I mean, I know it's terrible. I guess I'm like, which horrible disease do I want? I want the one that's less terrible, I guess. That's kind of where we are. And sadly, we're there. We're actually there. There we go. The AC jumps up for 3 months. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for the membership. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yes, I do appreciate it. And please, guys, like that. It does matter. Please do so. So Ryan says, Age of Enlightenment. Oh my God, I hope you are right. Ryan, I hope you're right. I do feel like it. Look, I think I have some evidence to this too. I do. I think I have some evidence. I was going to say I don't have that much evidence, but I think I do. I think I have some evidence to this. I feel like people are starting to get it. We're not there yet, but I think we are. And why do I say that? Because a lot of people are becoming independent in their politics. They're not acknowledging themselves as Democrat, Republican. That's a good sign. Second, people aren't so angry when people talk about breaking the system to reboot it. I feel like we're at a good time right now. We're not there yet. I think the AC's point of it still being a government of the rich, by the rich is still true. I think it can be changed. It's still possible. But I think the two parts, transparency and then understanding I have to change something. Yes, I had to change something. Those are the two pieces, right? Lila says, Elon is not the king, never will be. He's something different. Ooh, I like that. Ryan goes on to say, Trump is king. Well, here's the reality here. Is no matter how powerful Elon is, no matter how powerful he is, Trump can put him in jail. So there is Trump's Trump card right there. They might go, well, he wouldn't do that. Well, maybe saying, maybe the AG could investigate him, right? That could happen. That's the only thing that's what makes the king the king. He can put you in jail. That's the thing. So yes. All righty. Stone Mark Studio Production says, Mama make American money again. Side note to Larry, a favor, hit the button known as like. Yes, please do that. He's correct. Absolutely. Please do that. Absolutely. Shelley says, government credit limit is 37 trillion after this passes. Just 37 trillion. Absolutely. Pinkabell says, thank you for being a member, Pinkabell. So Congress can put a bunch of S through on must-pass legislation every few months. That's how it works, right? This is the part that drives me absolutely crazy. I had a nutty idea, an idea that came from what wasn't kind of a nutty idea. From, oh my God, who was it? Was it Kane? Maybe it was Kane. The guy who ran Godfather's Chicken, he was a Republican back in the day. I think it was King. He said no bills can be more than 3 pages long. Now, I think that's a little bit nuts, but I get the idea. The concept, I get the concept. Now, what I would do is I would literally say, whatever the normal font and size for print is on the Hill, print out the United States Constitution. Whatever number of pages and words that is, that's how long any bill can be. I'm not joking. Larry, how can you get all these bills done? You'd have to do each one at a time. You'd have to. What's it going to be? Maybe 12 pages, 14, whatever number's going to be. 15 pages, whatever it's going to be. I don't know what the number is going to be. I don't know what the number is. Sake of argument is 20 pages, whatever that is. You count all the amendments, right? Whatever. The Constitution at whatever's the constant, whatever. Sake of argument, 17 pages. I don't know what it is, but sake of argument, it's that. If you can't get a bill in 17 pages, well, then what kind of bill you got? Why is it detailed? Why is he so much control? Don't you have judges to decide if he's a constitutional or not? Don't you have a president who's supposed to have an executive order on how to fill this thing out? Why are you micromanaging? Why are you shoving 85 things into one bill? One law, one bill, 17 pages. Because 17 pages, anyone can read. You can read that and understand it. You can read it. But they can't have all the funky speaking hidden things. Yes. How can you fit pork in that? Pretty tough to fit the pork in. I mean, you could, but you got to really try. You get that amount of words, that amount of pages, all you get. I'm not joking when I say that. I think 3 pages is nutty, but I think you go. If you have to pass a law that's more than a constitution, it's a garbage law. And to be forward, most laws are garbage anyway, just to be forward with you. As I said before, New York State has 200 more laws ready to pass. New York does not require 200 more laws. I don't care what they're on. Not required. Not required. We have enough already. We're good. And most of it's just pork, which you're right, Picabell. It's just garbage. 100% I agree. Yes. So, all righty. Lunatic says, Musk is by design, same as Trump. By design, same as Trump. Meaning they're both like billionaire types? Maybe. But I think the way they made their money is very different, right? Elon Musk is a guy who made money directly off of government grift. And again, very good at it. Directly off government cash. That's not how Trump made his money. Trump made his money paying off the government to get stuff built. Different way of making money, both using government, obviously, right? Trump was open about it. He was like, I just give all these guys money. Remember, he said it. He goes, I gave all them money because I need to get my stuff built. I can't get things built unless I bribe these guys. So he openly said it. Remember, it was 2015, 2016. He just said it because I just gave more money. He goes, they don't know me because I gave more money. I gave them all money so I could build my stuff. And then what Trump's skill set is, he's a marketer and a brander better than, most on the planet. Right? Most people don't know. Most of the stuff that has his name on it, he didn't build. Most of the things, some he did, but most he didn't. He's got his name on it. Brilliant marketing move. So they pay him, they build it, and they pay him to put his name on it. That's good. You could be mad at the man, but that's good though. That's like smart. It's savvy. It's good business. So I'm gonna put my name on something. You gonna build something? No. You responsible for anything? No. You just get paid. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I put my name on it. They give me money. Again, don't hate the player, hate the game. That's amazing. And Musk didn't do that. Musk said, hey, government, I want to build something. You can't build it. Can I have money? And the government said, yeah, sure. And the government gave him tons of money. So different way of making money completely. Again, both using government, but different ways completely. So, and Musk is nowhere near as good as a marketer as Trump is. Musk can market, but compared to Trump, Trump's a much better marketer. Trump's a better marketer. Musk is a better government grifter. They're two separate things in that regard. So similar, but not the same, man. I'm not with you on that one. I think they're different. I do. They're different. Dave says, the Democrats, Republicans have the spend part down. Yep. The cutting spending part, Democrats, Republicans haven't figured that one out yet. They don't want to, Dave. You're correct, and they don't want to. Yes. Lita says, Republicans are ridiculously bashful about doing anything that they are voted in to get done. I don't get it. Yes. They're supposed to be doing it. Well, now they can. The problem is, and this is the part I brought up earlier this month, 2 months ago, even right after the election, about a month and a half ago, I was saying, while the Republican voters, to your point, Leela, want this done, no doubt they do. Most Republican base does. A lot of the Republican elected officials do, but there is still a swamp. It hasn't gone away. The swamp is still there, right? The swamp is still there, and establishment is still there. They don't want any of this done. None of it. They like it the way it is. They make tons of money. They're happy to have power. They want to keep it just the way it is. So they're still fighting that. So I think your point, that's one of the reasons why they're bashful, right? And add one more piece. Many of them are getting their cash. This is Republican and Democrats from big pharma, big ag, military-industrial complex. They don't want to change anything. They don't want to change anything. Yeah. Lorenzo says debt ceiling is a BS concept, false sense of physical security. Yes, 100%, Lorenzo. That's my point. That's why I say get rid of it. I don't care. You're right. It's a fantasy anyway. Pickerbell says it's an invisible line. Yes, it's just made up. 100%. It's just made up. Yes. Lunatic says, stop idolizing these figures. I've seen the omen too many times. Agreed. I'm with you. I'm with you. I can admit when someone does something well. It doesn't mean they're perfect or wonderful, but they've done something well. I can admit that. Sure. Shelly asks, how many bills are coming out of Albany this year? I did tell us, yes, it's 200. 200 more. 200 more. Yes. The AC says, I don't know why you guys make a big deal out of the national debt. It's at 32 trillion and change right now. If the U.S. was a company, we'd have a credit limit close to 50 trillion. I'm not sure. All right. There's several reasons why we should be worried about that. I don't know if you're serious or not. I don't know. Let me go to the next one. You say, why does everyone understand that companies go into debt to finance expansion and bad operations, but don't understand why this country does? Okay, two pieces I'll bring up. Number one, unless the company owns the bank, and that does happen sometimes, unless the company owns the bank, the company doesn't decide its own credit limit, nor does the company decide its own credit rating. It doesn't. When it did, which did happen in 2008, everything crashed, right? When companies basically decided, we run everything, we'll decide everything, that's it, that's when everything crashed. So we don't want that. So that's not a good idea, right? When that happened, it collapsed, and a government decides its own. That's not a good place to be. That's reason number one. Reason number two, when companies go into debt to finance something, it's generally for one or two reasons. One, they're going to be bought, right? Which is a common thing nowadays. A lot of companies just get bought. When they get bought, what happens? The debt gets paid off when they do the buy. When they raise the money for the buy, the debt gets paid off, right? So I go, whatever, $10 million in the debt so I can be bought for $100 million. $10 million goes to pay off my debt. $90 million goes to whatever, blah, blah, whatever the case may be, right? Tons of bankers make tons of money. That's how it often happens. Or they're going into debt so they can then begin to service that debt and then pay off that debt, right? Or pay off that debt, then go back into debt. Happens all the time. I agree. None of that's true with the country. None of that's true with the country. None of it is. And not just that. What if the company that goes into lots of debt goes bankrupt? Happens all the time. Trump went bankrupt all the time. What happens? Does the world end? No, it sucks. One company goes under. What happens when massive banks go under? We have depression. We have big problems. What if America goes under? Global problem. So I understand your analogy. I don't think it works here, AC, at all. Corporations, unless they own the bank, don't decide what their credit ratings are. Corporations don't decide what their credit limits are, right? Bankers do. There's a difference. They're looking at who's going to buy them, when they get bought, who's going to buy X, Y, and Z, and something else. The government often bails them out anyway. So there's a bailout for them anyway, right? So if they screw up, they get bailed out on top of it, on everything. So the world isn't ending if some company goes into bad debt. That's true. But some of the strongest companies are not in much debt at all. And those who go into debt early on are going to get bought. You see it constantly. In fact, it's now the norm, right? So I go into debt. I don't make any profit for 3 years. I get bought for $70 bazillion and everything is paid off. So I don't think the analogy works here. Just my view. Maybe you think I'm wrong. Maybe you think I'm off on this one, but that's my view. AC says, you mean like issue bonds? Happens also. You do see them issue bonds. This happen. Yeah, you see it happen. Yes. He goes on to say, exactly, if the U.S. went under, it would completely wreck most of the other companies and countries on the flow. So they would never call in those codes. They would never let the deflate. Yeah, you say that. We all say that until it happens, right? We say it until it happens. What happens when countries want us to fail? I just did a show, if you watched the Malay show, Argentina has defaulted 8 times. 8 times. This one we're not paying. That happens all the time. Countries do absolutely not do it. They do say, I'm not paying. They default. That's happened. Kings default. European kings default all the time. European countries or kingdoms used to all the time do it. Constantly. They would just default. So America's not beyond defaulting. The Roman Empire defaulted. America's not beyond defaulting. You can say they wouldn't let them. At one point, there's no choice. At one point, there's no choice. When you go too far, it's over. It's over. So I do think it has to happen eventually. Morgan says no bailouts. I'm with you. I just don't think that's true. Yes. Pete says if we were a company in this much debt, we'd be filing bankruptcy. Yeah, maybe. Yes. Absolutely. Mike goes on to say unfunded liabilities over 132 trillion. Our future. If there was a company that had, to Mike's point, this kind of unfunded liabilities, they would absolutely, nobody would invest in them. Nobody. The board would have quit a long time ago. The board would have already said, how do we get you sold? If me and you, Mike, and AC are on a board, and a company has that amount of liabilities, and we don't immediately push for a sale or bankruptcy, we should be thrown off the board. We should be sued for negligence. You got that much, you got to be sold or you got to be bankrupt. Either we're going to follow what Pete says to go bankrupt or we got to get sold like tomorrow for whatever, fire sale. We're going to get sold. What you want? Can you just pay off our debt? You can have the company. It's yours. Just pay the debt off. It's yours. I don't need any money. I just don't want to be this much in debt. Pay the debt and you can have the company. That's the plan I'd be working on right now. Who could just pay our debt? Company's yours. So yeah, it's a big deal in that regard. That's the piece I want to bring up. It's a very big deal in that regard. So yes. All right, let me grab through a couple of these if I can. Gene says, our Congress is controlled by corporate lobbyists. True, which is the definition of fascism. Our country is governed by a few people, which is the definition of oligarchy. We are screwed. Yes, but I have some hope. I do. I have some hope because of what I was talking about. I do see people starting to notice, and that gives me some hope. That gives me some hope. Lila says, Speaker of the House position is a nice job if you can get it. No, it isn't. Well, yes, it is. Hold on. It's good, but it's hard. So the good thing is, if you actually get this job, you also control all the cash. So you make you fill your coffers as no tomorrow, right? You fill your coffers big time. You could put 10, 20, 30, $100 million in your coffers like that. And I don't mean people often, this is one of the reasons people were talking about, AOC. People often confuse their campaign money with their personal money. Now, don't get me wrong. Guys like Mitch McConnell and guys like Mike Johnson are personally wealthy. That's true. But their campaign coffers are huge, huge. I mean, I can't even imagine how much they have. And then PAC money they have access to, right? They have access to PAC money, which is not theirs, and they have campaign money. I mean, there's just so much money. Cuomo, from being Governor Cuomo from New York State, still has like $20 million. It's 22 now? Whatever it is. About $20 million in his account, just sitting there, waiting for him to do something with it. Larry, can he keep it? As I've mentioned before, yes and no. He can hold on to it, that he can. Can he just spend it like a new car? No. Unless he can say it's a campaign expense, in which case, yes, he can buy a new car. if he can show it's a campaign expense. That's a tough one. But say he leases a car to run around New York City to run for governor again. Yes, that will be legal. He could do that. Leases a car to run around New York City. If he would say run for mayor next year, he could do that if he wanted to. Yes. So he's got $20 million that he can now do. I'll tell you what a lot of them do. I think I mentioned this before. What you can do is they can say, all right, Leela, do me a favor, start a think tank. You go, think tank? Yeah, start a think tank. Oh, okay, why? Well, because I want you to be in charge of this entity that will create policy and stuff. And you go, okay, but I don't need money. I got you covered. What do you mean? Well, I have $20 million in my campaign finances, my campaign account, and I'm not going to run anymore. Oh, you're not? No, I'm not running anymore. We need the money. I'm going to give it to you. What? Yeah, you start a think tank. I'm going to give you $20 million. Now you have $20 million as your think tank. It's a nonprofit. It's political. You take it. It's whatever entity you have to do. They do the entity, give it to you. You take it. And I want you to hire me as the managing director. How about that? You'll be the executive. I'll be the managing director. Oh, yeah. And I want you to pay me $500,000 a year for 10 years. And you go, okay. Why would you say no to that? Why would you say no to that? You would say yes. I just gave you a $20 million company that you now run, that you give yourself a $500,000 salary also. So you now both have $500,000 salaries. You make $1 million a year for 10 years. That's $10 million. And we still have $10 million to play with, to do stuff, to hire some people, put up something, pay some rent somewhere, whatever. Each one of us is making $500,000 a year for 10 years. Good deal. Totally legal. 100% legal. You can do it. We do it all the time. So yes, that's how that actually starts working. So Liberty Lady is over there on Rumble. She says, thank you for the $1. I hope Larry Sharpe supporters know that they can hit the subscribe button on Rumble during a live stream. Oh, there. See, if you're on Rumble, you can support me on Rumble too. During the live stream, click the join button during the live stream, and you get a special emoji and comments that are highlighted. If you want, you can do that. It's $5 a month. See, same as YouTube. Same. Either one can work. There we go. Either one can work. Easy day, easy day. So yes, I appreciate that. All righty. Let's see. I'm not sure. Daisy says, is this for me? Sure. Since all the Republicans believe false that the 2020 election was stolen, they thought that it was only fair that they went in and cheated for people off the voter rolls for the 2024 election. I'm not sure. Oh, hold on. Before I get there, sorry. It is not the join button. It's a subscribe button if you're on Rumble. Different. Subscribe if you're on Rumble. Join if you're on YouTube. Just to be clear. I think that there are many Republicans who do feel like they can do things that may not be ethical because they believe Democrats are unethical. That's true. But I would argue that it goes the other way also. But I think you're right. Right now, Republicans feel it more than Democrats. I agree. I think you're right. Yep. Sam says, why can't we ban CRs and omnibus bills? We can by doing what I said and saying you can only have a bill that is whatever, 70 pages long. By default, you do that. By default, you do that. Yes, absolutely. By default. Yep. All right. Pete says, shut down the government and leave it that way. Not surprised. Andrew says, masochist implies pleasure from pain. Sadist is pleasure from, oh, thank you. I meant masochist. Thank you, Andrew. I forget the two. I remember they're linked. I always forget which one is which. Yes, thank you. I'm not that much of a masochist. I don't want to get that much. I punish myself enough. We don't need more. It's good enough. So yes, thank you. James says, let's be for real. Neither of these parties are going to reduce the deficit or pay off the national debt. After all, Trump had all 4 years of his first term do so. How is something different? I agree completely. Yeah, I agree completely. Look, am I happy that Trump bought an RFK? I am. I'm happy he brought him in. Would I have preferred an independent like RFK to actually win the presidency? Of course. I'm a libertarian. Of course I'd like that. I'd rather have an independent if I have a choice. Of course. But that wasn't going to happen. Okay. My option is I'll take it, right? It's not great, but I will take it. Absolutely. But I don't think Trump's going to all of a sudden be a deficit hawk. He's never been. The only, if there was any deficit hawk who was running with any chance of victory, it was RFK Jr. And he wasn't a critical, he talked about it at least. I wouldn't say he's a deficit hawk. That would be incorrect. But he talked about it at least. He cared about it at least, right? He cared about it. So that was someone. No one else cared about the deficit. Oh, the debt. People just cared about it, right? The only person who actually probably would have stopped it probably would have been Chase Oliver, but he never had a chance of making impact. But he actually probably would have been against it. But that's it. William says, it's funny how the first extension was a mere like 84. Oh, 84 pages. And this is over 1,500. Yes. 100%. It was, oh yeah, almost 1,500. Yeah, you're right. Yes. It's crazy. They keep going. Yes, they just keep going. Noah, how are you? It's been a while. I'm glad you're back. Larry, it seems like we need King Musk right now because this bill is trying to push a lot of crazy things through before January 20th. But what about the precedent that will be set now? See, this is a good point you bring up. I like this that you bring this up here. Was it better? This is kind of to Vivek's point that Elon is pushing against the establishment. Maybe, right? I don't think it's that clear to me yet. Maybe I'm just too skeptical. Maybe I am. I'm not sure that's true yet. However, in this case, Noah, you are correct, right? In this case, it's true. I think if Elon did not, or King Musk, if King Musk, King Elon did not push back, I think this just goes right through. And that's what part people aren't accepting. I think in this case, Elon was correct. I think this was the right move. Again, will he keep doing this? Will I always be thinking it's the right move? Vivek seems to think that yes. I think a couple of you are like me and think this may not always be good. I may not always be happy of what King Musk does, right? Sometimes I'm sure I will be, just because there's some things we agree upon. So I think this is one of them, right? So I think that will happen sometimes. But I go back to it though. This is what AC is talking about. We already have a government of the rich for the rich. If I gotta have it, and right now it's what I got, right? I can be upset about it, and I am, but that's what I got. I'd rather it be open. I'd rather just be, here it is. I'm the king and I don't like it. And so stop it because I don't like it. All right, as I get it at least, at least I can see it. And I think this is what happened. In this case, I agree with him. I think this was a good idea to put this out front and people see it. No, well, you're talking about it, right? William is saying, how much pork? Yes, I agree. I think in this case, it was the right thing, whether or not you like the idea of Elon Musk or not. So, yeah. Anyway, Missy says, use the join button to become a member here. You get priority comments, guest appearances on special shows. Also true. I'll be working on the next members Monday show, which will be in January. So there will be another one coming up. She's correct. Joining, you become a member, you can be on the show if you want to. As you saw people last week. So yes. All right, and grab a couple more of these. The AC says they don't have to be, but as far as that's something else. I'm sorry, whole different piece. Apologize, sorry about that. Yes. Noah says I just shared your live on my X account and like this YouTube live because you're awesome. Oh, thank you. We get the coolest, most informative American government lessons whenever we log in. I do appreciate that. Yes. Robert says Trump is hinting at going after the United States Postal Service, with the USPS being such an important factor for Black family economic stability. Do you think this further destabilizes Black families? It depends on how he goes for it, right? I know a lot of people are mad at the Postal Service because it loses money. It's true. However, the Postal Service does certain things very well. And it also has a image that's very positive in certain communities. I think you can make the Postal Service work well. And one of the things I'll bring up is, for example, some of you may not know this. One of the biggest customers of the U.S. Postal Service is FedEx. Yes, the U.S. mail actually delivers FedEx packages. One of the second largest one is Amazon. Yes, if you get your postal delivery on Sunday, if you see the Postal Service on Sundays, that's not mail, that's Amazon. So yes, so they actually do have larger customers. Why? Because the Postal Service is required. If I'm not mistaken, it's either in our founding documents or the Constitution. I forgot which one it's in. I think it's in the Constitution. Oh, I forgot which. It's in one of our founding documents. I forgot which one. Is it? I've actually forgotten which one, but it is. It's the only one that says we need to have that. The government has to do that or should do that. It may be should. Anyway, it's part of our founding documents. That's what I will say. I forgot exactly where it is, but it is part of our founding documents. So the idea of destroying the U.S. Postal Service is something that most people would not accept. Just it's what it is, right? But the next piece is if you want to send a package to Barrow, Alaska, as an example, FedEx doesn't want to go there ever. What do? They give that to the Postal Service, the post office. It has to go there. So it'll go there because there's a post office at Barrow, Alaska. So they will put a package there. So you do have to have that. But the second thing is when it comes to bulk mailing, there is no doubt that when it comes to bulk mailing, the Postal Service currently is better than FedEx and better than UPS and better than all the other ones, right? It's the best right now at that. So could the others become better? Maybe. But right now, the Postal Service is great at that. Why wouldn't you have the Postal Service just do that? Focus on that and Barrow, Alaska. It could do both of those things very well, right? It could do it. And when you're doing bulk mailing, most people go to the post office. Most big business goes to the post office. They're very good at bulk mailing. It's one of their skill sets. And at the moment, better than FedEx and better than UPS. So again, could FedEx become better? Probably. Could UPS? Probably. But the Postal Service is already good at it. So maybe not. Anyway, besides the point. But not just that. Banking. And people get mad at this. People get mad when I talk about the Postal Service having banking services. You go, Larry, why would you want to do that? Here's the reason. As long as you allow the Postal Service to only be a savings and loan, meaning only doing things like checking accounts and savings accounts, and that's it, and nothing else, it could make money, bring in new customers. Well, Larry, why would you do that? Several reasons. Number one, if it's the Postal Service, they can never debank you. You're an American citizen. They can never debank an American citizen. Well, other banks, every day of the week, they will debank you left and right. They will use KYC laws to destroy you. You see it everywhere. Everywhere. So it ends the idea of being debanked because you just go to the post office. Are you a citizen? Yes. You can't tell me no. Give me a bank account. So if you don't give me a checking account, give me a savings account. Something. Yeah, give me something. You can't be debanked. That's number one. Number two, people don't trust banks. But in the Postal Service, you get a bank. People don't trust banks, particularly people who go from other countries. They don't trust banks. Done. So I think you could actually do something in that regard. You could do that if you want to make that work. So I don't think that I don't think you want to get rid of the United States Postal Service. I don't think you want to. I think you want to allow it to compete like others. You want to make sure it's making its own money, so you're not funding it. But then you can give it a shot to assist people in many ways, so they can actually not just that. What if you actually have bad credit, bad everything? Well, you can restart it in the Postal Service. You do it. So yes, I do think that. I hope that answers your question. I don't think he'll go after it. He might change it. I think it's just talk. I don't think it's true. I think he can. I don't think it's real. So anyway, I hope that made sense to you at least. I know sometimes we do weird things, but I try to, I try to answer all the questions if I can. So, all right. I'm gonna go walk down here if I can. Andrew says yes, Larry for speaker. I appreciate that, but no one's gonna give me that. So no. Yes. All right. Lorenzo says they don't say print more money anymore. They call it quantitative easing. That's true. It's just quantitative easing. See how easy that is? They're not printing money. Lorenzo's right. That's what they say. Yes. The AC says the rest of the world goals, I think it holds dollars in reserve. So unless we go crazy printing money, they just reach themselves in the D or the dollar. Well, you're right that at the moment that's true. But if you haven't noticed, it is changing, AC. It is changing. There is a move in many countries to either de-dollarize or to use other currencies. That is happening. It's not tomorrow. Like it's not tomorrow at all, right? It's not like that all of a sudden tomorrow there's no more dollar. It's not that. But you do see it happening. And it's slowly, but it's happening more. As the problem that we're doing isn't that we're crazy printing money. That's option one. But the second thing is we weaponize the dollar. We are sanctioning, if I remember right, last time I checked, I think it's so true, a third of the world. Let me say it again so you can hear it. We are somehow punishing or sanctioning, meaning weaponizing the dollar, against a third of the world. At one point, they go, I don't care about the dollar. Why do you think they start doing it? You're seeing it happen slowly. More and more people are like, we don't want this dollar thing anymore. Again, we're nowhere near it. It's not happening tomorrow. 10 years, maybe 20 years. Yeah. Now add 20 more years of debt and de-dollarization. You have a defaulted America. That's not an exaggeration. If you add 20 more years of debt and de-dollarization, that's defaulted America. Because once it begins to go away, it all goes away. It all goes away. Once a little bit of it goes, the rest of it goes too. Yes. BA says, you were banned on Twitter. Wow, I didn't know that you were so, you were going to say the N-word. That's good. No, I was shadow banned. Shadow banned. Yes. It was horrible. It was terrible how bad it was. Yes. So just nothing but terrible. Anyway, Lorenzo says, Musk can't be president. He must be US one. Yes, it's a joke. It's not real. But yes. But there is a fight. If you remember, Cenk Uygur argued that there was a Supreme Court decision that now invalidates that. Now, I'm not saying he's right or wrong because no one's challenged it, but he was planning on challenging it and having the Supreme Court make a ruling saying that. And it was something like, you can't, I'm going to get it wrong, but you'll get the concept, Lorenzo. It's something like there was a Supreme Court ruling on something other than this. It wasn't this, it was on something else, saying you cannot treat any type of American citizen differently. So it doesn't matter if you're natural born or naturalized or whatever, it does not matter. And so he was going to make the argument that because of that ruling, that means you can't do it when it comes to run for president. That was the concept that Cenk Uygur was talking about. So would it have worked? I don't know. No one has pushed it. If he had won the Democratic primary, obviously came nowhere near. But if he won, he would have challenged that in the Supreme Court. And he would have won or lost. And if he would have won, then it would change the entire rule. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger could be president and Elon Musk could be president if that happens. So the Supreme Court would have to rule on that. But there is a precedent for a lawsuit to go to the Supreme Court. We'll see if someone will ever do it. So Christine says, Adam Kissinger. Thank you. That's the guy. That was what I was talking about earlier. Appreciate that. Yes. All righty. All righty. John says, actually, I think they are trying to get a reaction on President Trump by calling Musk president. Ooh, you're probably right, John. I wonder if he'll bite. Has he taken the bait so far? I don't know if he has. I don't know if he's taking the bait. Maybe. Yes. Gene says, when I was young, the government shut down and nobody cared. Now there's so many people depend on the government. And that's no accident. Another piece, very important. Yes, 100%. More and more people are there. More and more people are there. Yes. So Pinkerbar says, people wanted a break to the system. The thing I keep bringing up with people, and Pinkerbar, you get this. The thing that unites us, if there's anything, is stuff isn't working well for us. Like we see it around us. We aren't happy. Like we don't have the jobs that we want. We don't have the education that we want. We don't feel like it's fair. We're not making the money that we want. We don't have the girlfriend or boyfriend that we want. We don't have the partner that we want. We don't have the things that we want, right? We want the things or the emotion or the feeling or the money or the whatever is important to you at any given time, and we don't have it. And it feels like I'm never going to get it. It feels like there's no shot. It feels like no matter how hard I work, I can't have it. That's how it feels for a lot of people. I think you're right. Now, like, break it. Who cares? I never forget this. For those of you who remember the BLM riots, when the riots happened there and they were burning places down and being aggressive, I forgot the woman's name, but it was a Black woman who did an interview. And what she said, while people got mad, I don't care if you got mad, hear what she said. She was right. When they were attacking her saying, you know, why are you burning your own neighborhood down? Her words were, we don't own this shit. We don't own any of this. And she was right. I know. I talk about it often. My old neighborhood where I used to live in the South Bronx, most of the things there were owned by local people. Most were. Not anymore. They're all corporate owned or owned by people who live in Connecticut or people who live in upstate New York or people who live in Jersey Shore. Yeah, everyone's just an employee. They don't own any of it. They're like Everywhere I see, I can't get ahead. Everywhere I see, I can't get ownership. I can't get ownership of my own labor. I can't get ownership of the fruits of my own labor. I can't get ownership of this stuff. I can't. Break a system. It don't help me. Don't help me. I don't care. If it's broken, so what? I'm already broke. I already have no option. Break it. I don't care. And a lot of people think that. And this is why I was talking to someone the other day about this. I forgot where I was talking about this. I was saying that, a lot of people should recognize that if we're going to divide ourselves, I don't want us to, but if we're going to, along race is stupid. Along class, maybe. It's a better way if we're going to, right? If we're going to. Race is dumb. That's the worst way to do it. Yes. That's the issue. So, all righty. Let me see. I can do this. All right. AC says, Kim still can't find the button to join the channel as a paid member. Oh, is that true? I'm sorry. I should probably figure this one out. I think I'll try to figure this out and see if I can fix it. It may be because of the phone, maybe different. I will try to figure this out. IC says, I'm on the app and have the join button. Yeah, I always see the join button. That's what I see, but maybe I'm missing something. I'll see if I can try to find it someplace else. So yes, we'll see if we can figure this out. If at all possible, we will see. All right, so I can grab some more of these. Gene says, we need to demand transparency and accountability from our government. Yes, but I say transparency first, Gene. You are correct, but it has to be transparency first because accountability won't matter if we can't see it. And transparency will get us angry enough to actually want to fix it. That's the issue. Yes, 100%. All righty. Lila goes on to say, the new age of enlightenment is dawning upon us. I really hope so. I really hope so. Right? I really want that to be the case. So Nick goes on to say, rebooting the system can be dangerous when most people have authoritarian tendencies. Isn't that the results of the advocates found? Yes. And let me, I'll give you two parts of that. Number one, there's data from the advocates, plus there's historical evidence of this. The historical one you can figure out is the French Revolution. The second one is the Russian Revolution. So the French Revolution was supposed to be, if you remember, it was going to be Enlightenment and everyone is free and Rousseau and look at the Americans and everyone's going to be free. And what happened? Emperor Napoleon, war throughout Europe. Yep. So rebooting the system can be terrible. It doesn't always work out that way. He's correct. The Russian Revolution was to be get rid of the Tsar and we're going to have perfect communism and everyone loves everybody, and that's supposed to happen, and blah, blah, blah. And what wound up happening? Well, we got Soviet Union and dictatorship. So it didn't work. But yes, you're correct. But the advocates, for those you don't know, the advocates for self-government do a thing called the world's smallest political quiz. And they have years of data on people who've taken the world's smallest political quiz. And it's basically 4 quadrants. There's a liberal side or progressive side, and there's conservative side. There's a authoritarian side, which is south, which is north. I'm sorry, south. And then there's libertarian side. And you can be every mix. You can be like a left-leaning libertarian or a right-leaning authoritarian or whatever. Just straight authoritarian in the middle, libertarian in the middle, far left, far right, wherever you want to go, depending upon a couple questions you ask. And they've had this for years, right? For years, they've had this. So they have data. And they found that as people get upset and angry, there's more authoritarians. Now, luckily for us as Americans, authoritarian is actually the lowest percentage. The highest percentage in the middle is moderate. Most Americans who take that test. Now, it's not scientific. It's just people who take the test. And this is done at fairs, in schools. So there's no science. It's a bunch of Americans. But they've been doing the same types of marketing for years. So while the actual numbers may not be accurate for America, the trends are real because they've been doing the same thing for years, if that makes sense, right? So the numbers may not be accurate because it's not scientific, but they've been doing the same type of marketing for years. So the trends are more reliable. And the trends they find are most Americans are still moderate. They have been for years. They still are moderate. The second thing that Americans are, believe it or not, is actually libertarian, and the least they are is authoritarian. That's still true. And that's been true for decades. This came out like in the 70s or something, 80s. I forgot. It's been decades. But what they also found is as people get more upset, to Nate's point, they get more authoritarian. And there are more authoritarians by percentage now than there were then. And the smallest like 5%. Now it's like almost 10%. And I've done this. Like I've been at events and had like a libertarian, like a booth, and had random people who walking by at like some, pride parade, or libertarians often do pride parade, or some St. Patrick's Day, parade, or whatever we're doing, right? We're out there doing that kind of stuff, some street fair in Brooklyn, whatever. I've done it many times. And I have people, fill it out. And most authoritarians, they're not surprised and they're not upset. They didn't defend themselves. They don't go, well, they go, yeah, that's me. I'm authoritarian. They just say it. They just say it. They don't even care. So yes, Nate, I'm glad you brought that up. 100%. Yes. All righty. Morgan says the veil is being lifted. There we go. Mike Vaz, knew the guy. Yeah, Herman Cain, thank you. Yes, he was the Godfather pizza guy. He passed away, didn't he? Was it cancer? I think he passed away. So yes, he was the guy. He was the guy who was talking about like a 3-page bill. I think a 3-page bill is nuts. That's my opinion. But a small bill, yes. Absolutely, yes. Small bill, yes. Morgan's want to say hashtag single issue bills. 100% yes. Absolutely. Yes. All right. Christine says each bill at a time. You mean Congress have to actually work? Yes. Joe says I go far enough. He says length of the Constitution is still too big. Give me something, right? Better than 1,600 pages, right? Come on, Joe. Give me a little bit on this one. I would take it. Maybe we try. How about we try that and then see what we get from there? How about we try that and then go from there? Absolutely. Andrea says, I have an idea. Cut 5 stupid laws for every law passed. As a libertarian, I think most laws are stupid, so you could up it to 10. I have a better idea. Every single law, every law has a 6-year sunset. Change that name. I'm sure Joe's mad at me. Like, 6? No, it should be 4. But okay, Joe, 4, 3, whatever. Just has a sunset. I'm saying 6 just to give me something, right? If we actually had a 6-year sunset on every law, if they don't repass it, it goes away. But Larry, what about murder? Okay, are they going to forget murder? Stop. I get that every time. They're going to forget murder. Let's say for some reason they just go, we don't care about murder. I don't know why they would say that, but in your crazy world, who just said that in your head, they decide to not renew murder. Okay, great. Then it's the second someone's going to be charged with murder, they go, you can't charge with murder because murder is not a crime anymore in New York State. Great. They'll charge you with manslaughter or whatever is the other law still there. And then they'll go, oh my God, we should probably now redo murder. So one guy might not get murder every 6 years. One guy might get only whatever else, assault, whatever. They'll give him some 75 felonies on something else, and then they'll redo murder. So it'll be fine. Even if they forget murder or whatever they do, it'll be fine. So yes. So any case, Morgan says, Musk is just as establishment as the other, just a different faction, like someone else said. That's true also. I mean, but he does have some views that I like, which is my point, right? Musk is not libertarian, but does he have some libertarian views? I think he does. He has some, right? I think some do. He has some. RFK has some. Even Trump has some. There's a couple here or there. If I'm going to have a king, at least give me one that's got some libertarian views. Something. So that'd be nice. Lorenzo says, most laws are garbage, but some idiots, NPCs argue, the law is the law. Not all laws, just laws. Let's never forget that everything that Imperial Japan did was legal. Everything that special form of German government in the 1930s was all legal. Never forget, it was legal prior to 1920 that if a woman wanted to vote, you could put her in jail. That was legal. It was legal to own people at one point. All of it was legal. So I agree. Yes, I agree. Yep. All right. AC says, yeah, he didn't ranch those steers for Trump steaks. Yes, but it was brilliant. So he got paid whether they sold the steaks or not. Still brilliant move. That's all I'm saying. Still brilliant. Put my name on it. I pay the money. You pay me the money, and I hope you sell some steaks. If you don't, what are you gonna do? I still get paid. So yeah, absolutely. All righty. Walk down here. We went past that piece already. Juan says, we need to go back to old formula of the 1800s when members of Congress spent only a few months of a year in D.C., less time spending on pork, more time, and more accountability with the people they represent. It will be way better. I completely agree. I wish we could go back to that level, right? That concept is really a much better concept. Yes. P says, brainstorm. If 50,000 people protest in front of the Capitol and demanded Speaker of the House cannot have the power to decide bills they get voted on, what makes scared and change? Not that. They don't. Protesting doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. It doesn't. In fact, all that happened is the FBI would get a couple of informants in there to make sure you all get arrested. That's it. That's all we do. Doesn't mean anything. Yeah. No, it doesn't work. I wish it did. It doesn't. Remember all the people who protested against the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan? Yeah, what happened? Nothing. Remember Occupy Wall Street? Nothing. It's useless. It means nothing. I wish it mattered. It doesn't. I know people get mad when I say it, but it's virtual signaling, makes you feel better, but it doesn't do anything. Yeah. If these guys, if you don't change the system, protesting doesn't matter. You have to be able to make them afraid of them losing their power. So protesting the Capitol doesn't matter. What would matter is if everyone would individually do that for each of their own people, right? Here's the problem. While most people, vast majority, do not like Congress, they somehow like their congressperson. It's true. I'm gonna give her my congressperson. Why? Because he stops me. He stays against the other guy. So if you live in a blue district, he stops at those crazy Trumpsters. If you live in a red district, he stops at those crazy leftists. So you like your guy or your gal, but you hate Congress. No, you have to hate your own guy, your own gal. So would that work? Yes, if it were in front of each specific congressperson's or each specific senator's place. Yes. You start doing that in front of in front of their buildings and stay there, they're gonna get scared. It's gonna make the news. They might get primaried. They might lose the power. That's what they care about. But the Capitol, they don't care. Protest there all day long. Spray paint, put some stuff on there. They don't care. Not gonna affect them at all. Because you're gonna say, I hate government. That means nothing to them. They don't care. They know you hate them. They hate you back. They know they hate you back. But they're going to keep getting elected, stay in power. They don't care. To AC's point, they're not doing anything that we want. Individually, each one individually, now we make change peace. That's how we do that. Each one individually. That's how we do it. Otherwise, it doesn't mean anything. So yes. Joe says, USA government is asset rich and high revenue. Just needs to sell off assets and reduce spending. Yes. I agree with you. The question is what assets and when and how. And again, there's got to be a goal to this, right? How are you going to actually get people to agree with that? And then agree with reducing the spending part. My worry is, Joe, we sell off whatever. We sell off $30 trillion worth of stuff, right? Oh, it's all gone. Great. Now we're down to only $7 trillion in debt. And 20 years from later, we're at 37 trillion again. And now we got nothing left to sell. So I agree with you, but it's easy. It's not easy, is what I'm saying. I agree, but it's just not easy. That's it. So, all righty. Let me grab down here a couple more. Nate says, campaign expense equals favors of friends, like handing out candy. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. 100%. All right. John says, Cuomo's still holding on to his money to this day. Yes, he still has 20-some million. He's waiting. Yes, 100%. Dave says, Larry, that's where the real money is. It's in PACs. You can pay yourself a salary for managing the PACs. Yes, and it's legal. 100%. Totally legal. So if I want to make actual change and make money, that's when I give Leela the money and we make the think tank so we can actually put together some actual change in government. But we still get paid a lot of money, right? But if I don't care at all, I make a PAC, which does, I don't know, whatever. I just pay myself money, right? So yes, it depends on what I want. Do I actually want to make some change? I get a think tank. I still get paid a bunch of money. Leela gets paid a bunch of money and she's good. She's happy. We hire Dave to help write us some stuff. We pay him crazy amount of money because we get tons of money. So we say, hey, Dave, write us some stuff. I don't know, here's 20 grand. Write some stuff. Dave goes, okay. Write some stuff down. Thanks for the cash. And then we hand it to a congressman and go, see, we're doing work. Isn't it worth $500,000 a year, Leela? She goes, it sure is. And everybody's happy. That's how that works. We all smile and we all buy our second house. Because why not? Because it's good. Then we hire John later and say, hey, John, write some stuff. He's, I don't know, that's 20 grand sound. Hey, write some stuff. Then we hand it to some guys, say, see, we're doing work. And every year we give one of us, our friends, 20, 30 grand to write some stuff. We give it to a congressman, say we're working. And then we have to post on a website. Probably got to get someone to give us, maybe get Morgan to give us a website. He'll post some stuff on the website for us. It looks like we're busy. We give Morgan like, I don't know, 30 grand, whatever. 30 grand. Hey, Morgan, put up a website and put stuff up. He goes, yeah. Next year, hey, Morgan, put some more stuff up. Yeah. John wrote some stuff. Put that up. And post something on like Twitter or something. Here's 30 grand. I wish I was joking. That's like a thing. And he goes, yeah, I'm fine. Hey, Larry, I'll post some stuff for you. Got you. I got you. Good website. I got you. 30 grand. Done. Easy day. So it happens all the time. So anyway, P says, educate people in the 10 most important things that need to change. Then create an overwhelming protest. We are protest the system, not cause. Again, got to be individually. Got to be individually. Right? That's the issue. Got to be individually. That's the key. Then we can do it. Yes. All righty. Dave says, won't the new Congress take over on January 3rd? Yes. New Congress take over January 4th? That first week. Congress takes over first. Then the president comes in, I think, 2 weeks later. So yes, that's first. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, that's the issue. Let me grab a couple of these here. AC says, I'm a little behind, but on Kick, you get a really big cut of it. I don't know how Kick works, to be forward. I just do this. I'm not sure how we do this. So maybe. Lorenzo says, the United States Post Office pisses me off when I lived in New York City. They've been good to me so far. Dave goes in the, thank you, it's in the Constitution. I knew it was in something. Joe says in the Constitution. Yes. But it's not shall to absolutely have to have it. Okay. I knew it was in one of our founding documents. I forgot which one. Thank you guys for that. Yes. There we go. I knew it's in the Constitution. I wasn't sure if it was Constitution. Was it in one of the founding documents? Was it in like one of the pieces that were written? I knew it was somewhere. Thank you guys for that. Constitution. There we go. Good. There we go. Robert goes on to say, yes, I'm all in support of expanding the services that the post office provides. Mirza Baradaran talks about postal banking, which can help eliminate predatory payday businesses for the unbanked. 100%. That's my point. I agree completely with you, Robert. That's a good idea for it. I think it's a way of helping people not have to go to predatory payday businesses. 100%. Paycheck places, check cashing joints. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Yes. All righty. Dave. Oh, thank you, Dave. U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, to establish post office and post roads. What happened? Thank you, guys. There we go. See, my chat's brilliant. They knew it. I knew it was somewhere in there. You guys figured out where it was. Yes. There we go. All right. Juan goes on to say, it's a postal clause for the U.S. Constitution. However, it doesn't establish a monopoly for the USPS. We should change the laws to allow competition in postal arena. We have already. Yeah. Absolutely. We have it already. I mean, that's why I think we have FedEx, UPS. I'm okay with that. Yes. Yeah. Morgan's on board. I like that. Yep. Morgan's on board. Yep. Ace is on board too. Postal banking. Yes. Absolutely. I mean, look, you want people to not be unbanked, which big banks are doing a heartbeat. You want, because you have to now, right? How are you going to have a credit card? How can you, if you're getting unbanked? How are you going to be able to, someplace you can't get paid if you're unbanked, right? So let people do it. Absolutely. Yes. So, all right. Dave says, Larry, you're half black, so it shouldn't be a problem if you use the N-word. I do use it whenever I choose to. It's true. You guys have heard me. I don't use it like now. I don't. But people who know me know I do use it. I grew up on it as a kid. It's funny. For those of you who know my background, as a little kid, I grew up in the Bronx in a very black neighborhood. Most of my friends were black. We used the N-word all the time. It's the 70s. We didn't even call it the hood then. We called it The ghetto. That's what we called it. We lived in a ghetto. We literally said, "Yeah, I live in a ghetto." That's what we called it, right? So we literally, yeah. Then all of a sudden, my parents make enough cash to move me out to the suburbs, out in Long Island, and like all my friends are white all of a sudden. So my friends go from almost all black to almost all white in like 2 months. Way different world. I stopped using the N-word because when they used it, it wasn't the way I used it. So I totally changed. But do I still sometimes, even in front of my people I'm close to, sometimes I will, because it's just still part of my vocabulary, right? I grew up on it as a kid. So I still, but I don't use it obviously in the way some people would. I use it to mean, I use it to mean person more than anything else. So but I do. I'm guilty as charged. I do use it sometimes. No one as much as I used to, but when I was a kid, it was every day. It was every day. And if any of you have grown up in a black neighborhood, particularly if you're as old as I am, you probably did use it too. So I did. It's true. Yes. All righty. John says, Larry, I'm not comfortable getting rid of the post office. Make it more efficient. Yes. Profitable. Absolutely. But get rid of it. No. I'm with you. I don't think it's the right answer. Yes. I don't think it's the right answer. I agree with you. Yes. 100%. Peekaboo says, Larry, you're right. Class solidarity is essential. And they've used race and gender to break that up, Peekaboo. And sadly, they've done it well. They've done it well. That's the problem. They've done it well. I completely agree. Yes. Robert says, there are increasing amounts of Black Americans talking about how birthright citizenship, originally intended to naturalize slaves and their descendants, is being exploited. What are your thoughts? I get that completely. I do. For those of you who don't know, there has been, and it's coming more to the forefront now, but there always has been an issue between Black people who are in America who came from slavery, sometimes called ADOS or FBA, Foundational Black Americans, sometimes called freedmen, sometimes, depends on who you're talking to, or ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves, and Black people who've come to America as free people, right? Like Nigerians, Jamaicans, right? Haitians, who've come to America as free people. And there's a split between the two. And as they mix together and America says, well, you're all Black, some people go, are we though? Like, do we really have the same back? Are we really, are we though? And that's an issue. And when people talk about things like reparations, when they talk about things like helping out the Black community, well, are we helping out the Black community for someone who comes from another culture and comes here as an immigrant, which by default is a self-selection of people who come here, or people who are born here and who are descendants of slaves? And the naturalization concept wasn't made because they were worried about immigrants coming to the country. Robert is correct. The concept was, if you're born here, you're a citizen. Why? Because they didn't want people saying slaves weren't citizens. They didn't want people saying that Black people, now former slaves, were not citizens, and we could somehow take away their rights. That was the concept behind it. And now it's being used or exploited, to your point, people coming here and having what they call anchor babies and such, that kind of thing. I think it's a valid conversation. I'm not sure I'm against the idea, to be forward with you, but I get it. There is definitely a conversation to be had about that. And for those who don't understand that, that's the logic behind it. There's a difference between people who are, I'm a descendant of slaves. I'm no shade if you're not, right? No shade. I'm Black on my father's side. No shade if you're not, right? My slave ancestors came out of South Carolina. So no shade if you're not. I'm just saying that's a difference between someone who, say, came from Nigeria last week, or last week, a couple years ago, and now is a successful business owner, right? A big difference. And if you come from Nigeria, the odds are you came here because you're the highly educated or you got good cash. That's why you came here. So a big difference in those two groups of people. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you, Robert, for bringing this piece up. So, all righty. Peekaboo says, always get far left libertarian in those tests. Yeah. Yeah. I tend to get, believe it or not, I'm not 100% libertarian. I'm a little bit low. I'm a little below the thing. I'm not 100. I'm not 100. I'm a little bit below. It's true. So yes. Joe, of course, says 6-year sunset. Give me 4. Yes, I'll take 4, whatever I can get. Sunset laws is all I want. 100%. I'm okay. Yes, whatever the case may be. That literally says, what's your streaming schedule next week? Guys, one reason why I'm doing an AMA today is because I will not be on again until Monday. I am traveling down south for a bit to meet some people, make some connections. I'm doing that. So I will be no show tomorrow, Saturday, or Sunday. We'll have a show Monday, and then I will have no show on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. So only Monday coming up here, and then another show until Thursday. So I'll do something cool on Monday. I'm not sure what. I'll figure it out, whatever the case may be. So yes. IDD, not sure how to pronounce that. Smaller government, fewer lobbyists, win-win. Yes and yes. AC says, French Revolution, less effing go. No, I do not want Napoleon. I'll pass. No, thank you. No Napoleon. No. Let's not do that. I don't like that. Yes, I don't want that one. Let's not do that. I do not want Napoleon at all. So yes. All righty. Andrea goes on to say, thank you for being a member, Andrea. I read an article from a few days ago. It stated my senator is debating if he runs again. Dick Durbin has been in power since 97. He's 80 years old. Why do you have so many geriatrics in power? Because the system promotes that and assists them. That's the reason. Because the system accepts that. Yes, and makes it happen. Pinkabell says, Larry, that theory of change happening by each person individually directly opposes everything you said about organizing along class lines. No, you could still. You still could, right? You still could. What do I mean by that? Example, gig workers. You have all the gig workers in, I don't know, all of Connecticut. I'm making this up, right? Connecticut. Go to each of their congressional districts and protest outside of their congressperson to make better rights for gig workers. Do that. Sure. That's still class, right? Gig workers are a certain business class, a certain class level. Generally speaking, I mean, there's some exceptions, but generally speaking, gig workers have similar issues and concerns. But they're not working together, marching in DC. That's not going to work. But if every how many congressional districts does Connecticut have? 12? Maybe, give or take, 12? So I got 12 different groups of people, all the same class, now they're getting worried. You will see that contingency begin to start thinking. That's what I mean by that. So yeah, I think you could do that. So Pickerbell says, Bernie has been beating the postal banking drum for decades. Yeah, it's true. And I think he's right. I agree with him. Lilita, don't get rid of the post office. Everybody like that. Yep, we're all good. Yes. Yes, absolutely. The AC says, 100% Larry, they use race to divide us. The have-nots for them, the haves. By the way, the dividing line is net worth of 14.2 million. If you have less than that, policies that benefit us, net benefit. Oh, God. Oh, is that? Wow, 14.2. So if you're worth $14.2 million or more, generally speaking, you get what you want. So if you're only worth 10 million, you're still part of the poors. Damn. You're worth 5 million, you part of the poors. That's not good. Man. Okay. Not part of the poor. Okay. I need a whole lot more money so I get what I want. Okay, I got to keep going. I got to keep working. All right, guys, give me some more memberships. I got to get past 14 million or I'm the nobody here. Okay. There we go. Okay. John says there is an actual industry to bring pregnant women to the U.S. to have their babies in the U.S. and then return home with their baby. Baby has U.S. citizenship. Yeah, I know that. That's it's heavily being done right now in China. And one of the reasons why they do this is wealthy Chinese oligarchs want to make sure they have a place to go in case they get in trouble, or the children at least. So you see it here in America, in New York City. You'll have a massive high-rise building with, 5 or 10 million apartments in it, right? And someone will buy 3 of them. They'll buy 3 of them. And only one will have anybody in it. 2 will be empty. And they hire management companies, just make sure the bills are paid, the lights are on and off. So management company runs all 3 of them. One of them is occupied because that's their kid. That's the Chinese or Russian or ex-place oligarchs, Indian oligarch It's their daughter or son who's here on an education visa going to NYU or Columbia or something, right? And they live in that $5 million apartments, 2 more in the same building, 3 total, 2 are empty. Why was 2 empty? Well, in case he gets in trouble, he can flee. So he can flee, go to the one, so he can live in the one apartment. His family is another apartment, and his kid is a citizen, so he can come here, right? And he sells the other one for cash. So he sells the third one for $10 million. That was that cash, and he owns the other 2, and him and his family stay here in America. That's a thing. So yeah, that's why you see so many people buying these buildings up, and there's nobody in them. Well, because only 1 in 3 are required. The rest are just investments that they can, in case they get in trouble and they fall back. So yes. So anyway, all righty. AC goes on to say, did you know they voted themselves a 40% raise yesterday? I did see that. Yes, I did see that. Yeah, they do like that. Morgan says retirement at 67 unless you're in government. Yes, absolutely. 100% unless you're in government. Absolutely. So, all righty. If I could, I want to bring this up one more time. If I could, I know I haven't done it that much, but I'll do it again if you guys don't mind. I would like you guys to hit that button known as like. Please, it does matter. Every little bit counts. Please hit the like button. It does matter. Also, if you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, please make sure you share it someplace else. Subscribe on YouTube or follow me on Facebook or on Twitter. I appreciate all the super chats always. Membership does matter. If you're a member, please do that. Click that join button, find it. Or you can go on, if you want to, you can go on Rumble. Click the subscribe button while I'm live. Do that also works. Either one. All of them help out to move this thing forward. I can spend less time working and more time here. I appreciate it. Guys, I hope this AMA was fun. I was trying to go back and forth with you guys, chat, and give us some good talk from our last couple of shows. I will be off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Back here Monday at 7 p.m. And then again, back on Thursday. Probably some kind of holiday show or something like that. We'll see what I'll do. You can always let me know if you want to. And as always, please, if you can, put a comment underneath here below after this is over so that Mr. Rhythm, you know him, Al Gore Rhythm, he likes it. All right, guys, I will see you all very soon.